With so many cooks in the kitchen and all those years for something to go wrong, does Aliens Colonial Marines actually deliver thrills for fans of the movies, or does it drop the ball? Billed as a true sequel to the 1986 film, the opening of Aliens gets off to a great start by having the Sulaco appear back over LV-426, despite the ship having left said planet at the end of the movie. All of the cryotubes have been ejected, so who piloted it back? And didn't it crash land on that prison planet in the third movie? This is hand-waved away by your character's commanding officer, so immediately you know the story is going to be throwaway. It's a shame that the game is considered canon by 20th Century Fox, because Aliens Colonial Marines is a complete mess. Not only does it mess with both the established plots of Aliens and Aliens 3, but it does it in the most completely ham-fisted way. Video game stories are almost never anything special, but this is a game that tries to have serious character moments when the models can't even emote properly.
They're sweeping in from the right!
Even though the story might be awful, the gameplay somehow ends up being even worse. Aliens Colonial Marines is a paint-by-numbers first-person shooter that somehow looks and feels like a budget title from 2006 as opposed to a game that came out in 2013. Seriously, these textures would be laughable on the last generation. There's a ton of corridor shootouts with brain-dead human mercenaries, and the Xenomorphs, one of the most frightening and lethally efficient killing machines in movie history, are nothing but cannon fodder, eagerly running into a barrage of pulse rifle fire. Despite pumping round after round into your foes, they don't respond to being shot until they fall over dead, meaning that combat feels unresponsive and uninteresting. It's hard to gauge how much damage you're doing when your targets just soak up bullets without even flinching. The one upside of this game is that the sound of the pulse rifle is lifted straight out of the movies, and you can even use the motion tracker, complete with the requisite pings. While it's cool to see these nods to the movie, the motion tracker is completely useless, because everything just runs in a straight line at you anyways. Speaking of movie references, Colonial Marines constantly throws recognizable scenes from the films at you, beating you over the head with callbacks. You can even find legendary weapons used by characters from Aliens along with their dog tags. There's also a weapon customization option where you can slap all sorts of tacti-cool attachments onto your firearms, including some paint decals that would look awful in Army of Two. Co-op is the only salvageable part of Aliens Colonial Marines because, as the saying goes, misery loves company. Aliens Colonial Marines feels like a game that came together in the last 6 months, and at least according to Internet Scuttlebutt, it actually did. A sloppy story along with half-baked shooting mechanics, awful AI, groundbreaking objectives like turn that automated turret around, and some of the worst graphics and lighting I've seen in years makes Colonial Marines the first and easiest F of 2013.